Biggie was the type of person to motivate you. He always wanted anyone to succeed. He always wanted everybody to have a better life for themselves. He was just hungry. He just wanted to make the album. If he could get 500,000 fans, he used to say, he happy.
Check me out right here, yo.
We was like on our way to the parking lot, like waiting for the cars to come out. Our car came first, and we was waiting for Puffy's car to come. So when this car came, we all pulled out.
Big was in the front, Cease was sitting behind Big, and I was like sitting behind the driver.
The car just rolled up on the right-hand side and just started shooting holes in the door.
Lil Cease just did something nobody expected. He finally admitted he was wrong about Lil Kim. That's huge. If you know their past, you know this ain't just a casual apology. For years, Kim was painted like the villain, like she switched sides after Biggie's death, like she was chasing clout or didn't really care about him. But that was all cap. The truth? Kim was one of the only ones who really stayed solid for Biggie, even after he was gone. Meanwhile, Cease and the rest of Junior MAFIA were out here adding fuel to the fire, pushing this twisted narrative that made Kim look fake and bitter. The media ate it up, fans believed the hype, and just like that, Kim got pushed to the sidelines in Biggie's legacy. But now, Lil Cease is finally setting the record straight. He straight up owned up to the part he played in making Kim look bad and said she deserves way more respect for how she held it down for Biggie during his life and after he passed. That's not just an apology. That's a major shift in the story that's been told for decades.
Kim was found guilty of lying to a federal grand jury during the investigation of a shooting outside a New York radio station. Prosecutors say she made up most of her eyewitness testimony about a 2001 fight outside Hot 97. The shooting broke when Lil Kim's entourage crossed paths with a rival rap group, injuring one man. Lil Kim now faces up to 20 years.
So let's break it all down. What exactly did Cease say? Why does it matter so much? And how did Kim really keep Biggie's legacy alive when everyone else was ghost? First, you gotta understand how deep the drama ran between them. After Biggie passed in '97, everything got real messy, real fast. Junior MAFIA, the crew Biggie built himself, which included both Kim and Cease, basically crumbled. People started choosing sides, the money dried up, egos got loud, and trust went out the window. But the real fracture hit years later, around 2005, when Kim got wrapped up in a federal case. She landed in prison for perjury, lying to a grand jury about a 2001 shootout outside Hot 97 in Manhattan. The drama involved folks from her own team, and the fallout from that moment made it crystal clear who was really riding for her and who flipped.
What made you feel bad? I genuinely apologize. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You like one of my, you are my sister. You're not a real sister, but you my sister.
God is good.
For life. And I love you and I thank you for bringing this energy here.
God is good.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, bro. For real.
Yeah, Steve. God is good. He's a leader.
I you that, man. I've been wanting to say that to you for years. It took experience.
Kim ended up getting hit with a tough sentence. 1 year behind bars, 30 days of home detention after she got out, and 3 years on probation. She served time at the Federal Detention Center in Philly and walked free on July 3rd, 2006. But this is where things got extra messy, because guess who showed up on that witness stand? Lil Cease. Yep, Cease actually testified against Lil Kim during her trial. And while he later tried to downplay it, saying it wasn't that deep, the streets and the media weren't buying it. He said the headlines twisted it, made it seem like he was some kind of full-blown snitch. But even he admitted that just being on that stand made it look shady. Cease tried to clear his name by claiming he didn't have any power over Kim's fate. He said he couldn't have said anything that would have stopped her from going to prison. His words, "She wasn't in a situation for me to say something that would send her away." He pointed the finger at her inner circle, saying maybe it was the people around her that made it feel like betrayal. But let's be real, from Kim's point of view, that moment cut deep. Cease also said something wild. He felt like Kim had the chance to make better moves and just didn't. Still, he stood firm that no one in Junior MAFIA, including himself, said anything that directly got her locked up.
Well, happy 50th, happy Biggie 50th. One thing about Lil Kim, she gonna ride for some B.I.G.
That's right, that's right.
And I'm so happy to see everybody here. I mean, the whole family Tiana, CJ, you know you guys are my heart.
He believed she was going to do time no matter what, all because she lied under oath about that shootout in 2001. But from Kim's angle, this wasn't just about legal stuff. This was personal. Cease getting up there and talking was more than just disloyal. It felt like a straight-up betrayal of Biggie's legacy, especially after everything they'd been through as a crew. Cease said he was just telling the truth, but in hip-hop, especially back then, testifying in court, that was the kind of move you couldn't come back from. After everything went down, Kim wasn't about to play nice. She cut off Junior MAFIA completely and made it loud and clear that she didn't mess with Cease at all. The silence between them lasted for years. Cease tried to clean it up in interviews, throwing out explanations and soft excuses, but Kim wasn't buying any of it. In her eyes, he sold her out, no questions asked.
Never involved with the movie. I was never, but the movie went into green light and I didn't even know about it. You know, how can you write, this is my dispute with this. Like, how can you write a movie about somebody's life and you don't even talk to them? Like, that's just
how can they get your dialogue too? Like, if there was situations, okay, well, this is what happened. Like,
or the
if it was a big event,
right?
Then they say, okay, well, but how could they get just every word?
Yeah, like
how, this is what
how
she
do you
said.
know how I touch Biggie? How do you know how we kissed? How do you know how we talked? How do you know what, like, there were certain things that we did intimately that no one would ever know except for me and him.
Right.
You know? And so after the movie went down and, you know, they already picked who they wanted to pick and, you know, they already greenlit the movie and they were already shooting in Brooklyn, I went down there with my lawyers flipping. Like, you know, what the heck is going on?
Have you seen the movie yet?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Is it hard for you to even watch it?
It's hard for me to even watch it because it's so far-fetched from the truth. I mean, the stories of even him and Faith, and it's so far-fetched from the truth. This story is ridiculously funny. It's like a spoof to me.
Still, the media mostly ran with Cease's version. They painted him as the guy who was just being honest, while Kim got slapped with labels like bitter, unforgiving, and difficult. Wild, right? Especially considering she's the one who actually did time. Meanwhile, Cease got to keep his image intact, acting like he didn't play a role in the situation that landed her behind bars. So yeah, this wasn't just about old friends falling out. It was deeper. This was about loyalty, respect, and how women, especially black women, keep getting thrown under the bus to protect everyone else's image. Kim took the fall, and Cease got to walk like nothing happened. But then, fast forward to 2019, and everything started to shift. Kim hosted her annual tribute dinner for Biggie's birthday, a big event with folks who were close to him back in the day. The whole original Junior MAFIA crew showed up, and that's when it happened. Lil Cease stood up in front of everyone and publicly apologized to Kim, telling her she was like a real sister to him. Later, Kim opened up about that moment in Vibe magazine, saying it meant everything to her. She said, "It's been a long time since we've been together on his birthday or doing any event together at all. For me, it was a spiritual awakening. This was his heart. So it's sort of, for me, mending Big's broken heart. Putting him back together is putting all of us back together." And just when you thought it was all in the past, Lil Cease popped up again in a Vlad TV interview, getting emotional as he admitted he wasn't a good brother to Kim. He even brought up how, after Biggie passed, Kim let him crash at her spot when he was down bad. That moment hit people hard because through all the chaos, one thing became crystal clear. Kim always took care of her people, even when they didn't do the same for her. Lil Cease's apology flipped the whole script for a lot of fans. Suddenly, people started realizing maybe they'd been too quick to judge Kim. Maybe her side of the story had been buried, silenced, or just straight up ignored. Folks finally started waking up to the fact that Kim had been done dirty and that she'd been carrying way more weight than anyone gave her credit for. Now let's really get into how Lil Kim kept Biggie's name alive, even when it felt like the industry was trying to wipe her out. From day one, Kim never stopped showing love to Big. Go back and listen to her albums. She's always shouting him out, dedicating tracks, keeping his name in the spotlight while others were just trying to cash in off his legacy. On her second album, The Notorious K.I.M., Kim dropped a gut-wrenching tribute to Biggie called Hold On, featuring Mary J. Blige. That track wasn't just emotional, it was raw. Kim compared the pain of losing Biggie to the pain of childbirth. And if you've ever seen that footage of her at Big's funeral, you felt it. That wasn't for the cameras, she was speaking from the soul. And on that same track, Kim didn't hold back. She called out folks in the industry who were out here eating off Biggie's death. You can probably guess exactly who she was throwing shade at. But Kim didn't just speak on it once and move on. Over the years, she's done countless tribute performances, taking the stage on the anniversaries of his death, putting on events, doing everything she could to honor the man who meant everything to her. Then in 2016, Kim dropped I Did It for Brooklyn with Mano, a full-blown tribute to Big and the borough that raised him. But she didn't stop there. She's been the one organizing family dinners for Biggie, pulling people together in his name, even inviting folks she once had beef with. That's real love right there. And be honest, how many male rappers you know who would set their ego aside like that? Not many. Even after all that, Kim still got misjudged for years. After Biggie died, people either pushed her out of the story or acted like she never really mattered. But the truth, she was one of the last ones still repping for him when everybody else had already moved on. Let's not forget. Lil Kim knew Biggie before the platinum records and fame, back when he was just Christopher from Brooklyn. He brought her with him straight from the block, which says everything about how much he believed in her. That wasn't just business. That was trust, loyalty, and real connection. Now, for years, people tried to play Kim by saying Big wrote all her rhymes like she couldn't stand on her own. Yeah, he helped her in the beginning. He mentored her for sure, but don't get it twisted. Kim's pen game is solid. Ask anybody who's actually listened to her bars. She helped shape the female rap game into what it is today. No Kim, then there's no Nicki, no Cardi, no Megan, point blank, period. Still, Kim kept getting disrespected by the media over and over again. Take the Notorious movie that dropped in 2009, it had her heated. They twisted her into some messy side chick role when in reality, she was one of the people Biggie was closest to, on a creative and personal level. That version of her in the film, total distortion. And things didn't stop there. Kim kept getting caught up in industry drama, especially with the labels. Remember the Monica track, Anything to Find You? Kim laid down a verse for it, and it was fire, but it got pulled last minute. Why? Because Biggie's estate, run by his mom, Voletta Wallace at the time, refused to clear it. Monica ended up speaking out about the whole situation on social media. She said, "I'm just finding out what has happened to my single, and myself and Missy are beyond hurt that Lil Kim was removed. She's our friend, a legend, and Lil Kim will get the respect she deserves at all costs." Monica also revealed she was fighting to get the clearance reinstated, but then she came back with another update saying, "I am as thorough as they come, and I love Lil Kim. Bottom line is, Ms. Wallace has the final say, and she said no. If we put it out, we get sued." Just like that, Kim's verse got erased again. But here's the thing, even after all that, when Voletta Wallace passed away in February, guess who still showed up at the funeral to pay her respects? Lil Kim. She pulled up with class, took the high road, and showed once again that she's got more heart than most in the game. She didn't let years of drama stop her from doing what was right, and that's what makes her legendary. Let's be real, a lot of the hate Lil Kim got over the years came down to straight up misogyny. They labeled her disloyal, called her crazy, said she was fake, but none of that was true. Kim was one of the very few who stayed down for Biggie through everything. While others vanished, switched sides, or cashed in, she kept showing up with her music, her actions, and her loyalty. They tried to erase her from the story, like she was just a footnote. But Kim, she didn't just keep Biggie's name alive, she protected it. She kept his legacy strong, even when it felt like the world was doing everything it could to shut her out. And now finally, the truth is catching up. That apology from Lil Cease wasn't just about ending old drama, it was about finally giving Lil Kim her flowers. Long overdue. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Kim was misjudged all these years? And what do you think about the way she held it down for Big? Was she the realest one in the room? Let's talk about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts down below. Appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.